4, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going second. I'm not particularly happy with this. I'm going to save the foraging and fertile, because with the leftover food they'll make a good right species. I'll put the climbing into a species, because 2 is usually not the greediest, so if someone else plays greedier, they will likely be eaten. Yeah. Not nice having to put that much in whilst I'm going first. So, second. It's not quite first. Oh yeah, this guy's timing out. This could be annoying. Cool, so Eala, well, everyone's gone greedy. That's quite greedy. He's definitely fine, because I put in this incredibly high shitload of food because I didn't have any good options. Now, 2 traits together looks suspiciously like they could be some sort of defensive trait. And in this case, I maybe even will just put up a defensive herding and make the long neck burrower, or just the plain burrower. We'll save the long neck for when I get to surprise everyone. Because there's a lot of food. Dislexsick wants a lot of food. So I put up this fertile foraging, we'll put that in there, we'll give it an extra population, just for good measure, and we'll put the burrowing here. We'll eat with this one first. Hopefully I can still get the 3 food from 2 eats for this one. And hopefully there's no, 4 population pack hunting carnivore coming out of Dislexsick. If there is, this species is kinda screwed. Maybe not, because this is pretty greedy. That's 2 cooperations. I definitely think my my defensive herding gets to survive if a new carnivore comes up, and that's done. But if this is going to be cooperation before the foraging, that makes a lot more sense. It's definitely the way I would do it. Okay, there are no carnivores that can attack me, that's good news, well, except this one. Nope, not even that one. Guess that's some solid cooperations. I'll see what I can find for this next round, because it's looking like there's not going to be heaps of food here. There might be just enough for me to get my next eat in, because these are only 1 at a time. This is all full. This is 3 at a time again. And he'll still get to take his final one. And yeah, it's Eala that's missing out. Eala, I don't know. It's too few letters to work out how to say it. That is an unfortunate lack of ways to eat. I'm just going to put in the 2. If I think there's a carnivore, I'll make it into a scavenger and just give it population equal to whatever I think the carnivore's population is. I'm really hoping someone will make one. Dislexsick with all of his cards seems like the most likely candidate. He might, you know, just get a long neck and, you know, another cooperation. I mean, I definitely could have saved my carnivore to try and turn this into some sort of no offensive traits carnivore. If that sounds just as crazy to you as me. If that somehow is a carnivore, but I think it's just an intelligence, and a very good intelligence at that. So that could be a pack-hunting carnivore, and because of that threat, I will push this to the same number of population. Thank goodness it is! That's really good. 14's quite a lot of food. I'll at least get to take 2 of it. There's an intelligence here, so there's a lot of undefended species. This guy gets to eat 5. 1, 2, 3, so there's 6 available for him to eat. He'll get to extinct 3 out of those 4 species. It's pretty good news. I'll get to take 1 more of these food. I hope he attacks this one. This makes me happy. I like having cooperations. This has got pack hunting, so the hard shell is a pretty tough sell. I mean, it's more food, but maybe he makes it clear that I can make the hard shell work. So this is, that's necessary. Obviously, until I'm first, I can't actually add population to this, unless I want it to die. Certainly one thing I can do for a bit of safety. Bump this to 6, do like this, if I just wanted to spend everything. That'll work fine. He gets to eat it once, I get to eat with it. Everything gets pretty full. Pretty effectively. If that's an intelligence, this is kind of fucked. If it's a climbing, I'm fine. So, if that is an intelligence, I know that he can't actually do much to this because he can only hit it once. I'm sort of incentivized to make sure he does have a way to get some food. So I'm pretty happy to just let him eat this once. I get a heap of food, and I think everything is okay. He eats it once, I eat once. It costs me a card that I don't really want to spend, but I think it's a good move right now. Especially given that I put in a slightly high food contribution, being able to take one more of them is good. And the fact that every time I let him hit me, he's giving me a food as well, that's fine. Yeah, the main point is with only 5 population, he can't actually deal with this. Cool, corporations into nothing. He doesn't have to attack this now, he can actually take one of these. He did, so that's fine. I get these 3, he'll attack something, and if it's not this, he'll fill this up. He'll probably attack this, because it's got the 4 body size. Nothing else much will make sense with his 1 card. Just means that next round, if he does actually go to 6 and save a card, I just need to be very careful about how I'm defending this, because defensive herding doesn't work. It's particularly vulnerable. I'll put this up. It might actually be the only way that I can defend this, even though it takes a little while to kick in. So this is where I would have really liked to have that scavenger over here. If I'm happy not to have this cooperation going off, I can do this. Now it's going to cost him cards to hit it every time, which I think is fine. He'll be able to eat this once. Unfortunately, he can just extinct this for a card at some point. So I'm still going to give it like 1 more population, just so he doesn't think, oh yeah, I can extinct this and then attack that. Because I think that is bad for me. If I'm doing this, I can do this, and I'm really unlikely to be getting this going anywhere. Yeah, I'm going to save the carnivore in case I manage to pull a pack hunting. I think this is an okay idea. I would have really liked to have still had the cooperation. Losing it's pretty bad. Honestly, I think he just has to deal with Dislexsick at this point. As much as I've got this happening, if he just attacks once, I can't get much food here. I'm happy to just let this die. It's not important to me at all. Right, the one of its population is, but the other ones are really just to stop it being extincted. And I'll take the 2 at a time that I can take with this foraging, for as long as I can take them. That's not even defended, wow. Okay, so none of those are pack hunting. Which isn't great, I guess. Get rid of this horns. Still, this is also undefended. I'm gonna look into just bumping this back up. Replacing the scavenger with the carnivore, so it doesn't look like a carnivore. Giving this, again, the population to make it harder to extinct it. I'll give this one the third body size, maybe people will just think this is a fat tissue. This is really dangerous. I'm really angling for being able to attack this undefended carnivore. I mean, it's crazy, but I think it's the best shot I've got of actually being able to do something while he, you know, pumps this. It may not work. I may just lose this completely and lose the game. Especially if, you know, this is huge and he just wants to push this up so that it's big enough to go through a hard shell. But he may want to save a lot of cards to handle defenses this turn. And just hope that he can make this scavenger scavenge some extra times using them. Like, I think going 5 population here, having 4 cards left over to use 4 cards to do 4 attacks would be pretty solid. Not knowing, you know, what I've done here. So he might have just put up a warning call to defend this. If that's the case, I got nothing. I literally can't attack. Oh, I can attack that because it has horns. That's fine. I can also attack this before it's burrowed. So I'm going to lose 2 population of this. He can't deal with the fact that it has the warning call because he'll have already spent his card long before that. Doesn't matter what I do, I'm losing the 2 population on that, so I definitely just want to take the last food on this species. That denied being able to put out the cooperation from this intelligence. So this intelligence and foraging are kind of around the wrong way. You'd like the intelligence here with the cooperation, and the foraging over here. Oh, that's nice. I guess I'll eat this once because I can. Maybe that was a bad idea. Maybe being able to eat this more times would have been good. But I don't think that actually changes how many times I can eat this. Because I'm going to go up 2 instead of being there. Whilst coming down 2 along here. And then be able to eat it once. Whereas if I hadn't... Okay, yeah, it does... It's if you're eating the horns last that it doesn't change the number. Because I'm eating the horns early. That wasn't even the final turn. Jeez. I've got to say I'm happy having an ambush, but it may not do much for me. I would have been happier with would have been much happier with an intelligence. So let's see, definitely one thing I want to consider is this. Maybe even that, if I think it'll help. But currently there's just there's some defense around here that's making the warning call irrelevant. Which means the ambush may not help if I don't see anyone up here do something. So the secondary idea is we do this. And then we note that this guy can only eat this twice anyway, and maybe put this here. But obviously, if there is anything obviously attackable, we're going to keep the carnivore. I didn't, you know, see a climbing. If I'd seen a climbing, I was definitely making a climbing. If this is undefended, I'm probably just going to grow bigger than it and eat it. That's intriguing. If it's an ambush, it does let him attack this. It doesn't seem all that helpful. Yeah, like I said, he can only eat this twice anyway. Do I care if he does? Was I going to get enough food to fill it up? I think the answer is no. So I'll just get one extra from my long neck by putting a foraging on it. Oh, so this was completely undefended, and I could have kept myself around to attack it. I misplayed that, apparently. I was not anticipating so much greed. So, after that performance, Dislexsick is certainly winning. This guy can, and he can only kill this outright, so if he wants to use his cards effectively, you extinct this. That wasn't... That was gonna starve. You extinct this, then you eat this. That was... if he, like, loses by, you know, 6-7 points, that's his own fault. Kind of hope he does. He may not, he may still be far enough out ahead. Okay, that was fine. If I had kept my carnivore, I'd have been able to eat this. Would it have made any difference? I was probably still a little bit too far behind.